More important than what a politician has done in their past, more critical than the type of pantsuit they wear or nifty little sweatshirt logo they may create, and certainly more necessary than a solid, well-done coif, there is nothing more important to those who seek to be your fearless leader than their image. All of the aforementioned may come into play, but in this upcoming 2016 POTUS election, there are more landmines and potholes than anything found in a cranial examination of those who binge-watch anything with Teen Mom in the title. How to succeed and how to, at the very least, seek to avoid failing and falling is where we go next. Welcome back from the M Network in Miami, Florida, publicist and branding specialist Thom Mozloom. Tom, we got some news to talk about because earlier today, and I've always wanted to say this, and I'll bet everybody else has too, Donald Trump, you're fired. NBC basically cut ties with Donald Trump today. So does this really hurt him at all, though, knowing just how bombastic the man is?
No, on the contrary, I think that it helps him. I think that he already announced he would not be doing his show anymore so that he could focus on running for president. Whether or not that was just blather or not, nobody knows. But I think having the mainstream media, especially a media organization like NBC, dump him because of his views on immigration or anything else for that matter, is going to be fodder for him. I think he's going to carry this through the stump for a long, long time.
Is it fair to say that if you just listen to Trump, look, I know people agree and disagree with him, but at least on the stump right now, he is the most bombastic, egotistic of all the group there. He's getting his message across. He's cutting through all the fluff, and that's what every other candidate wishes they could have every day.
Donald Trump is now and always has been a walking viral video. Anything he says it in a way that people are going to remember and talk about for good or bad or for ugly. And as you and I both know, any publicity at this stage of the race is good publicity, and he's going to bank on all of it.
And as a branding specialist here, and if we look at the brands of the different candidates here, don't they have to realize that they're not for everybody? It's not as if Jeb Bush will speak to everybody, Scott Walker will speak to everybody. Don't they have to pick that niche, and they've just got to dig in on that no matter what?
Yeah, even before a candidate starts a run for any office, they look at who they're running against and how they slot into that race. So if you look at the Republicans, you're looking at anywhere from far right to far left. Jeb is sort of the status quo politician. He's going to be a moderate centrist. Then on the far other side, you're going to have the Trumps and the Rand Pauls, and everybody else is going to try to find their own niche somewhere in the middle of those two posts to try to carve out what their brand is. The problem is that when you have a Donald Trump, nobody actually takes him too seriously, and he sucks all of the oxygen out of the room. While news organizations like this one dedicate precious minutes to talking about Donald Trump, Bobby Jindal and Scott Walker are all off in the background going, what about me? I'm still here.
I'm trying to jump in here, but you keep saying things that are absolutely right, and you're nailing it here. So when you go to name value, you mentioned Bush. George Bush, and not only that, but Rand Paul. In your opinion, should they just take the name, grab it, live with it, run on it, and try to stop running away from it?
Yeah, I think in an election like this one, honesty is the best policy. At some point, Bush is going to have to explain why he either is or is not a Bush, and Rand Paul is going to have to explain why he's not crazy. Those are going to be the two ends of this spectrum that these guys are going to fight with all election long. Now, I know that I just mentioned Ron Paul and Rand Paul and crazy, and that necessarily means that my phone is going to blow up right now with angry emails. That speaks to the power of those brands, but with a very, very tiny, teeny, limited marketplace that happens to be very passionate.
You make this note now. Thom Mozloom off the Paul Christmas list. Okay, got that one covered. About a minute we have left. You talked about Trump sucking the air out of the room. You talked about guys like Walker and Carson and Huckabee and Cuomo and all these other guys. How do they cut through that then and create an image/brand when there's just no air left?
Yeah, and it's still early, but time is starting to run out on these guys. In a traditional manner, you would probably just sit back, let the gas bag go until all the gas is gone, and then step in to fill the void. But that's not going to happen for these guys until the first debate, and some of them won't be in that first debate. So there's going to be a scramble for relevance in the coming weeks as this starts to unfold and starts to gel.
Well, don't they have to learn to be a little bit of a gas bag as well?
Well, I mean, that could backfire. If you're Bobby Jindal or you're Scott Walker and your current brand, as smaller and unknown as it is as level-headed, and you come out with ridiculous statements sounding like Donald Trump, your own base is going to rebel against you. And it's not the voters you're worried about at this point in the cycle. It's your donors. The guy who earns the most money has the best chance of winning the election.
Fair to say, Tom, in the 15 seconds we have left, that there's going to possibly be nothing more entertaining than what we see between now and November 2016.
I can only hope for a Donald Trump-Chris Christie debate. That is what I'm quietly holding my breath for.
We're carrying that live. You and I are going to sit here, and we're going to go ahead and do play-by-play and color on that one. That's how much fun that'll be.
I am so in.
There you are, Thom Mozloom from the M Network. Thanks, Tom. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Yeah.
Stay with us, because the brand that is the fastest 60 minutes in news, the Hardline, continues.